Sanjay?
Yes,
Oh, there you I knew you were here at one time.
I started from there and then figured maybe distracted, so I
Great.
came back of the room. So every one of the speaker, evaluator, and table topic master, and table topic speaker, all of them were within the time.
Terrific.
Would you like me to go over?
Actually, I love what you just did. There are times, so I'm going to evaluate you and what you did there. I love what you just did. Sanjay set up what his role was and was very clear with that. Also, his voice projection was outstanding at the beginning when he was explaining it. And then when we're running short on time, it's very useful to say everyone was within time because we know what the times are. There are other times when it's perfectly appropriate, especially when people are competing or coming close to competing, say, where you want to really know what your time is, to say, let's say Jan was at 6 minutes and 55 seconds or something like that. But I personally like that very much. So thank you. And for our counter, Saul?
Thank you, Andy. So in a very engaging meeting, I find it extremely difficult to count all the ums and ahs I was drawing into every speech. So I apologize and encourage everyone to rewatch your video. But I'll give you a very quick rundown. Jan 1, Carla 2, Marina 3, Ian 1, Judy 1, Adrian 1, Ann 3, Nate 8, but he is the rare speaker that I think can use us to his effect and actually adds to his speech occasionally. Michael 0, Patricia 0.
Great. Thank you very much. The meeting was called to order on time, and Jill was our Toastmaster. I like Jill's manner because she's very friendly. She warmly greeted each speaker and the opportunity for the guests to introduce themselves. Cheryl started with the mission statement, and I think it would be useful just to tie it directly to have the mission statement is particularly relevant to our guests, and I'd like them to listen to what Toastmasters is about, so you get another sense of the support. The opportunity to speak was well demonstrated here today. Virtually everybody in this room spoke briefly, which is an outstanding example of the participation. Each time we speak, each time we speak, standing on our feet, there's a bit of anxiety that we get over. The guests coming here, oh my God, I'm standing up, and even though I know my name, you are speaking. And it's that practice that Marina alluded to in her own, not only alluded to, talked about a great deal in her speech. So we are always practicing to become more proficient as speakers. Regarding the proficiency of speakers, although I agree that Jan is a highly competent speaker, the HCC is really a half competent communicator. And I think that was just sort of just a point for Jill. And I like very much how she set up Marina's advanced speech, because there are speeches both from the basic communication manual, which ironically in a sense Jan was speaking from, and also the advanced speech communicator manuals, where there are 15 different modules to choose from. Moving on, Carla evaluation of Jan. I thought it was ideal example. Actually, both evaluators did an excellent job. We evaluate to the objectives of a speech. Each speech project has a different objective. And we don't always know what the objectives are, but here today with the agenda, we did. And so each evaluator focused on the objectives and directed their comments not only to the technical aspects, but to how the objectives were met or how they could have better been met. Carla well demonstrated what's sometimes called the sandwich method of starting with a very positive wow. That was clearly, you get the sense that she enjoyed Jan's speech. And then I thought it was a very astute observation regarding for vocal variety, that the first part of the speech did not have as much vocal variety, although it could have been the setup. Whenever we have one of those suggestions, ideally we can also come up with a suggestion to address that comment, but not always. And then Carla ended with another positive. Very effective evaluation. Ian did very much the same thing. My suggestion for Ian is there was a bit of an overuse of great. And we tend to Dale Blagrove, a former member, or maybe still a member of this club, fabulous was his word. And after 10 times, fabulous in a 3-minute talk loses some of its punch. So we're all trying to be careful about the words we choose. Moving to table topics. Judy, great introduction of yourself, of the basis for the questions. Sometimes table topics masters spend too much time introducing the question. And this could have been on that borderline, but for the fact that she sort of repeated the theme for the next participant, which I thought was very effective. And I enjoyed it because there's some continuity. And then I also enjoyed the fact that people felt comfortable enough, which you were always free to do, to readjust the question, as Nate did. He started with the answer of 1 and then moved on to what he basically wanted to talk about. So let's go with Adrian, a good example of how she semi-stalled for time to just collect her thoughts. Once she warmed up, you almost had to pull her away, and that was fun. I mean, and however, 2 little nits, watch the hair grooming while you're up here, and also you could end. You were so warmed up, I think you could have ended with something stronger. Consider table topics as mini speech, an open body and close, but you have 1 to 2 minutes to do it. And I don't recall Judy telling us the timing on the table topics, that the objective is to just speak between 1 to 2 minutes on that. How are we doing on time? And what is the time?
It's 13:12. We have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. And I'm taking a little longer than normal, but that's because I'm older than anyone here. I think. No one's challenging me on that. Anyway. And stay on your soapbox. You have a lot to say. Be powerful in saying it. And you surprisingly, considering how much you have to say, you didn't fill the room and own it as much as you're well capable of doing. It is an opportunity. And I mean, I love to sing, now I'm on my soapbox. I love that. Stay on it. And Nate, I loved how you switched the topic, as I mentioned before. Michael, there was good humor there. Patricia, the personal escape. There are a few foreign boroughs that are attached to New York: Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, the Bronx. I mean, it's not just 12 miles. And one thing we all have to watch out for, I'm doing it right now, sort of the locked elbows. Drop 1, drop 2. And Patricia, when you are not sure what to say, you tend to be a little penguinish. We all have our crutches. And if we don't identify them, we don't get over them. We don't get through them. And as Marina said, we can't take ourselves too seriously. We're all here to learn. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you.